So today, I just wanted to talk about another game that I got pretty early on in terms of when I started playing video games, and that, of course, is um, Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube. I have a lot of fond memories with this one. I don't like it as much as the newer Mario Karts. I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just the best Mario Kart, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for Double Dash because, like I said, I played it a ton as a kid. So, yeah, I'm just really familiar with it or whatever. Yeah, despite being pretty bad at it, think I don't think I unlocked the last two characters, PD Piranha and King Boo. I don't think I unlocked those characters until like several years after I first got the game because I just wasn't good enough at it to unlock those characters to do the races against the computer, because the computer in that game is hard. It's very difficult or whatever. Especially on the higher speeds, it's just as far as I can remember, maybe it's super easy. Like I said, I was pretty, bad at it as a kid, so maybe that's just why it was so difficult to unlock those characters. But I also just remember the computer players just being super difficult to go against. Of course, the big thing Double Dash is known for is the whole two characters on one card thing, which, as far as it doesn't really amount to all that much. It shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be that harsh. Because the big thing about this game is that every single character has, or the not every single character, but there are pairs of characters, and they all have certain items they can get, and only they can get. So there is a bit of strategy in choosing, what characters you choose to play as, because they all have different items, and some are more offensive and some are more defensive. So of course, yeah, which is, it's kind of interesting, I guess. But I've seen a lot of people over, over the years say that they want these sort of character exclusive items back, which I don't really know if I want that back. It is interesting to make the choice of character more meaningful than it usually is, because usually choice of character in Mario Kart is usually just weight class, and that's pretty much it. So giving characters different special unique items does help with that, in the sense that, yeah, it really does matter who you're picking, because who you're picking, you get those special items. So, but yeah, I'm not really sure if I want that, just because it feels like everybody, if you do that, then everybody just goes to one character and just stays as that one character, the one character that has the best items. Because you have to balance that really well, or else you just end up with this, just like I said, everybody choosing the exact same character if you don't balance it well enough, in terms of character specific items. The other thing I remember about this game, and I don't really like about this game, is that it's really slippery compared to other Mario Karts. It just feels like, not that you're like constantly on ice, but the cart is just sort of always sliding all over the place. And this is sort of a weird thing to mention, but in other Mario Karts, when you press the drift button, the cart does a little hop before you start drifting, before you start really turning. And in Mario Kart Double Dash, that doesn't happen. You just start drifting, which is fine. It's not terrible, but I always thought that was like a weird little quirk of Double Dash, is that the cart doesn't hop before you start drifting. You just start drifting. You start turning really hard. And I always just felt that was like sort of, like I said, it just felt really, slippery. Not that it was like terrible or anything. It's certainly playable. Like I said, I played it a ton as a kid, but it was always like comparing it to the more recent Mario Karts. Was always just like, yeah, this was the real slippery one, where you just didn't feel like I had complete control over my cart as much as it did in the other Mario Karts. So that's one thing that I felt. I don't know if that's like a prevalent thought, but to me it was always like super slippery or whatever. Um, yeah. As far as the courses go, Mario Kart Double Dash has some great courses. And this may be just nostalgia talking. It might be, but uh, no, there are just tons of good courses. So yeah, that's the one thing that. The other thing that I sort of remember about Mario Kart Double Dash is it's a very chaotic Mario Kart in a sense. It just felt um, just more chaotic. Um, just the way the carts were sliding around, and the courses especially just feel chaotic, just in the way that they were designed, and the certain locales and places you go to. But it is certainly interesting for that double character mechanic that no other Mario Kart has. It's two people on one cart, which is, like I said, is kind of interesting, I guess. You know, um, Especially because you had the mechanic if you got hit by something, then the character on the back of the cart would be sort of like incapacitated for a while and you couldn't throw items or switch characters. Um, it's certainly kind of like neat, like I said. I don't know if it really made all that much of a difference in the long run, like I said. I'm not really one of the people who wants that back. I know there are a lot of people who are like, bring back the two people in one cart thing, but it's like, they have to design the whole game around it, and I don't know if that's worth it. It just doesn't feel like that's worth it for something like that. Just to me anyway. Um, yeah. It's pretty good. It's still a fun game. Like I said, it's still perfectly playable. I just the sort of slipperiness of the controls, and I don't know, the like character specific items are always kind of like, I don't know if I like that. I mean, like I said, on one hand, it does sort of it is sort of interesting because it's you have to sort of strategize on what two characters you want on a cart, because all the characters have different specific items that they and only they can get. So do you want to like go entirely defensive, or do you want to go entirely offensive? But just with a system like that, like I said, it's just difficult, because as soon as you give one character a really powerful item, it just becomes everybody chooses that character. I think that's partially why they don't do it in the modern era now. It's just because that would be you'd have to balance that. I mean, you'd really have to balance that, and I don't think that's just like another headache, another thing in development that they just don't want to deal with. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. So bye.